Hello Year 5s and welcome to Friday's art session, and today we are going to be looking at one of my favourite artists, Henri Rousseau. And Henri Rousseau loved to paint jungle and rainforest scenes. Let's find out a little bit more about him. So Henri Rousseau was born in 1844 and died in 1910. He was born in France. He never had any art lessons and started painting when he was an older man. He had never visited the jungle, although he loved painting images of the jungle and jungle animals and rainforest plants and flowers. He painted house plants and wild flowers for his jungle paintings and often looked at pictures in books. So let's have a look at one of his famous paintings, and this is called The Surprise. So what animal can you see in the foreground? So we use the word foreground to talk about the front of the picture. And it's a strange looking tiger there, isn't it? And what is the weather like in this painting? Well, you can see it's quite stormy, isn't it? And it's got almost sort of like a silvery rain. It almost looks almost dreamlike. And here is another of his paintings. You can see that he's put lots of foliage and big plants at the front or in the foreground, and then the animals as well are in the foreground as well. What colours can you see in the real jungle? So there's quite a range of different colours here, isn't there? Just lots of different colours of green. But in Rousseau's version, he makes it a little bit more colourful. So they're not as blended in, are they? They're a little bit purer in colour. So Rousseau has clear outlines on the grass in the foreground, and each leaf is clearly painted. What other animals can you see in this picture? Look closely. That's right, you can see a few monkeys there in the foreground, can't you? Some birds there, and another couple of monkeys in the trees. So are these real jungle plants the same height? They're not all the same height, are they? And you notice here that actually he's made them pretty much all the same height. So Rousseau's jungle paintings, he used very simple, pure colours. So not mixing them too much, not showing the different tints of greens. He had very clear outlines. He filled jungle paintings with animals in the foreground and lush green plants in the background. And he also loved to paint big flowers. You can see these flowers here are huge in comparison to the tiger. He painted leaves and grass piece by piece with clear outlines. So he's got very clear defined leaves, which he liked to paint in the foreground. And again, we've got some examples of some giant blue flowers. Can you spot them? Yep, there they are. I mean, they are absolutely huge. They're double the lady's height there. Can you see light and dark in the real jungle? So we have got light and dark in the real jungle, but we've got lots of different shades, haven't we? Lots of different shades of greens and colours. And you can see again the big oversized plants at the foreground here. So when you go to paint your own picture or draw your own picture, you could do big leaves in the foreground, and then he does them one by one so that they're nice and clear. So that's Rousseau's version there. And again, you can see the big plants, big leaves at the front. And when you go to do your painting, you might want to do that as well. So challenge to you, can you make a Rousseau jungle? So remember some tips. He used very simple, pure colours. He had clear outlines. He filled jungle paintings with animals in the foreground and lush green plants in the background. He painted leaves and grass piece by piece, and he often painted huge, oversized flowers. Let's have a look at some forest plants. So we've got some here. Another strange looking plant there. And some nice big jungle flowers that you might want to use in your drawing. And there's some more there. So there is a video at the top there. If you follow this link, I'll put that onto the assignment, and you can find out a little bit more about Henri Rousseau and this famous painting here called The Surprise. And you are going to draw a Henri Rousseau inspired jungle. So perhaps you might want to start off with the leaves, filling your page up with some individual leaves at the back there and putting your animal straight in the forefront. Perhaps next to your animal in the foreground, you might want to do some nice big flowers as well next to it. So have a look back at the examples on the assignment and see what wondrous jungle scene you can create. Can you include those oversized flowers? Can you include those oversized leaves and put your animal in the forefront of your jungle scene? And I really look forward to seeing your jungle paintings and pictures.